And my second choice arises because we are coming to the 50th anniversary of the D-day Normandy landings, the longest day, the day we dare not lose the battle. Let us recall what you said on the 40th anniversary on those beaches, for no one else could say it better. You said, those men of Normandy had faith that what they were doing was right, faith that they fought for all humanity, faith that a just God would grant them mercy on this beachhead or on the next. The Americans who fought here that morning, you continued, knew word of the invasion was spreading through the darkness back home. They felt in their hearts that in Georgia they were filling the churches at 4 a.m. in the morning. In Kansas they were kneeling on their porches and praying. And in Philadelphia they were ringing the Liberty Bell. And they knew that God was an ally in this great cause. That night, General Ridgeway was listening in the darkness for the promise God made to Joshua. I will not fail thee, nor forsake thee. And you said, let us continue to stand for the ideals for which they lived and died. We will always remember. We will always be proud. Ron, I think that was your greatest speech. Like Winston Churchill, you made words fight like soldiers and lifted the spirit of a nation. My third one, also a favorite, which was seen the world over, was the terrible Challenger space shuttle disaster. You knew immediately with that unfailing instinct that the tragedy needed a national voice to share the mourning, to comfort, and yet to say, the quest must go on. You were on television within hours. And I remember so well, you spoke especially to the school children who had been watching. You said, I know it is hard to understand, but sometimes painful things like this happen. It's all part of the process of exploration and discovery. The future doesn't belong to the faint-hearted. It belongs to the brave. The Challenger crew was pulling us into the future and will continue to follow them. And of course America did, as we saw today. And the memorable last words you used came from a poem which linked you all so much to Britain, because that poem was written by a young fighter pilot killed in the skies over Britain shortly before his death in 1941 at the age of 19. You will know them. They're your favorite, and they're mine. I slipped the surly bonds of earth, put out my hand, and touched the face of God. You always had the right words, and we honor you for it. There are so many other speeches, some prophetic, some humorous, but all with a vision, all which inspired. We could identify with each and every one. More than anyone else, you knew people's desire to be attached to some cause greater than themselves. So instead of inundating the American people with a torrent of projections and percentages, you spoke of the voluntary spirit, of community and charity. When others spoke of the fear of war, you spoke of the need for warriors and peace through strength. When others bewailed the failure of big government to provide for the collective good, you spoke of self-reliance, of personal responsibility, of individual pride and integrity. When others demanded compromise, you, Ronald Reagan, preached conviction. Your 8 presidential years, so ably supported by Nancy, to whom we also do honor, they were more than a 2-term presidency. Under your guidance, right made might, and it triumphed. There was a new birth of freedom, extending far beyond these shores. On this, your birthday, Ron, we offer you our undiminished gratitude and boundless affection. May God bless you, and God bless America.